Hi, Collective Shout supporters. Well, what an amazing year. We have had 34 victories. That's 11 more than last year. Thanks so much for making that possible. We thought it'd be nice to reflect on our favourite wins for 2024. So, Lynn, tell us what was your favourite victory for the last year?
This was really hard because we had so many and so many that I'm proud of as part of this incredible team. But I'm going to go back to the very beginning of the year, our very first win, which was against H&M. And I think we were all really surprised by the advertisement, which featured very young schoolgirls were wearing dresses that sort of mimicked school uniforms. And the slogan was "Turn heads, you can turn heads." And it was just such an affront to what we believe girls are and how they should live and how they should be represented. And quite surprising to see a massive company like H&M advertising in that way. So that gets the big thumbs up from me, that win. We started the year with a bang and we just kept going. And thanks to our supporters for that.
Thanks, Lynn. Lynn's too humble to say, but she also forced a number of investors to divest their shares from the biggest strip club holdings in the US and also from Playboy. So well done, Lynn. Caitlin, what was your favourite win for 2024?
This has been really hard to actually narrow it down because we've had so many good wins. But I think my favorite would have to be the campaign against Spotlight. So this year at Spotlight, we called them out for selling pimp costumes, and we argued that these normalize and trivialize violence against vulnerable women in the sex trade. And initially they removed the online links. So online it was gone. So I think they thought that's done. We don't have to worry about that anymore. But they continued to sell the costumes in their stores. So we continued to call them out. And I think they just thought, we're just going to leave this and nothing's going to happen because obviously they're not that familiar with us. So we continued to call them out and we continued to call them out. And I think at some point they didn't like that. Then we also heard from a woman who is a survivor of sex trafficking, Caroline Pugh Roberts, and she wrote a really compelling piece on the problems with normalizing this kind of violence against women with promoting pimp as a stereotype and the messages that this sends to boys as well. So I think that was quite instrumental as well in getting them to sit up and pay attention. So after months, they did remove those costumes and I was really glad to see that.
That's a good one too, Caitlin. Thanks so much. Coralie, what would you like to share about your favourite win?
My favorite campaign was the campaign that we had against the online merchandise store TeePublic, and they sell t-shirts and baby onesies. And we ended up, we called them out online. They started to remove a selection of designs, which were the ones that we had in our blog. But there was thousands. We found thousands of designs on their website. And so about a week after we had called them out, I thought, oh, I found some more designs. They wouldn't really print and send one of these designs. So I placed an online order and I was really surprised to see that they actually printed it and shipped it to my address in Australia. And they're owned by Articore, Melbourne-based group, Articore Group. And not only did they print it, they actually printed it wrong on the back. And so I was able to lodge a complaint against the error and get my money back on my order, which was great. But after we met with the Articore senior management, they did give us an apology. They then removed all onesies off their database, so there are no longer available to print on demand onesies. And we still continue to call them out, though, because they do have T-shirts with misogynistic slogans and violence against women. So the campaign is ongoing. We won the war against the onesies, and we're still going with the other merchandise.
Yeah, well done, Coralie. Thanks so much. And Renee, what have you got for us?
My favorite win for this year would have to be Etsy. How they've like banned porn and sex abuse dolls on their platform, and they've also tightened up their prohibited items policy. And like blocking terms like search terms to porn and sex dolls and other items. It's my favorite because that's been such a long running campaign for us, and we still have a ways to go with Etsy. They're not perfect. We still have a bit of campaigning to do with them, but I'm encouraged that our long-term campaigning has influenced these changes. And it's also a really great example that our determination to keep going until we see meaningful change will not stop. You know, we will not stop until we see Etsy really clean up their act.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks so much, Renee. Well, I'm movement director, so I'm going to pick two. One really short term, which I think we do really well in just going out hard and fast and getting the win, and one is a longer term one. So our win on the OnlyFans booking of Cape Manuel at Pepper's Soul Resort in Surfers Paradise, where Cape Manuel had planned to film porn content with Australian schoolboys fresh out of school at schoolies on the Gold Coast. Cape Manuel was advertising for boys to come and meet them and film the content at Peppers. We went after Peppers and they cancelled that booking. And on the back of that, we forced a billboard company to pull down, Goa Billboards, to pull down a large billboard depicting Cape Manuel as a school teacher and advertising that she was in the area. We got that down as well. The longer term campaign, age verification, you know, Collective Shout has been at the forefront of leading the charge, calling for proof of age protections for children to protect them from early exposure to pornography. We spearheaded an open letter with leading child safeguarding and women's safety specialists, calling on the federal government to reverse an earlier decision against an age verification trial. We were successful. The government said yes, there would be a trial, and that trial is now rolling out in Australia. That took a lot of years of campaign and advocacy. Of course, there's still a ways to go, but at least the trial is now happening as a result of Collective Shout's action, as a result of you supporters that back us and that get behind our campaigns. You can read all these wins, all 34 of them, on our website, the Wins and Highlights blog, which was just a joy to put together this year, celebrating our record year. Join us, get involved, and we can achieve even more next year. Thanks so much, and happy Christmas from all of us.